Okay, welcome back. My name is Emil, and if you've seen my videos before, you know my sound is pretty much derived from the like one iconic amp. I'm talking about the PLEXI sound. Like a lot of my amps are an example of that sound. I do have the Bogner, which is sort of like a PLEXI JCM hot rodded extra everything, and I have my small Victory down there. That's a cool amp, the quad preamp Mesa power amp. That is maybe a couple of steps from the old PLEXI sound. This PV, I don't know what it is, but it's pretty good. So in today's video, these are some of my amps I have right now. I do have my dual rig that I'm using right now, playing. That's in my rehearsal room. So I'm talking about my Mesa Mark IV and dual rig combined with a PLEXI kind of amp. So I'm using my 73 Super Lead right now for that. This is actually a really cool little mini PLEXI. I really like that one. It's one of my favorites, and also the quad and power amp setup is also pretty cool. So that's not what I want to talk right now. So I have this on my bench here. This is a JCM800 from mid-80s, and it's the model 4210. It has it's actually a combo version, so this is where it used to sit. You can see there it's a 50 watt JCM800. It has reverb and also an effects loop. So it's this is a good donor amp. So I want to talk about just a short while what I want to do with this, and then also get into the schematics and all the details, and then start building pretty much my own, I wouldn't say dream amp, but I need to start somewhere, right? I mean, all the let's take Mike Soldano for example, and also the diesel amplifiers. They all started with someone wanted their own like solution. I mean, Mike Soldano, he was building upon the Super Lead and created something new from that, exactly what he wanted. And I know the diesel story with diesel amps is he wanted like a very diverse amp that suited him. So all these guys, they started just building like one for themselves, and it started like this. It became something really big. So I'm not saying I'm after that right now, but I'm trying to collect all my knowledge, and like I've done some research looking at schematics, and I've done this so long now, so I know what I want and what I like, and so hopefully I can like customize this to exactly what I want. And the first thing, I really don't like the sound out of this stock. It's very cold and no warmth, and it's really stiff. So something has to be done. The thing that sparked this idea was turning it into a PLEXI. So basically going back a decade in circuitry. But then this thing evolved. So I'm thinking about making a stock PLEXI from like the late 60s preamp, and then have it switchable. Okay, so what I was saying here before I had to adjust the lighting here, I want to make something like a combination of a stock PLEXI because I'm very I have a soft spot for that sound, so I do want to keep it as original as possible on one side, and then I kind of want to go crazy on like the cascading gain thing. I have looked at the Bogner for some inspiration. I have looked at tons of schematics, how all the manufacturers are doing and how they are like making it happen. And I think I've landed on something like on one side stock PLEXI, and then later on in the preamp, kind of like a hybrid between how Mike Soldano does his SLO100 with a very cold clipper. The cold clipper is basically how you bias the gain stage further on. I'm not going to go into detail. I don't have the knowledge, to be honest, to explain everything for you. I do have an overall understanding for this, but I'm not as confident, so I can like talk about this in detail. And I just want to get some experience, try this, and I think I have something. This schematics is just something I draw real quick. It is just I don't know if it's gonna work. This is a trial and error work in progress. But anyway, all the values here and all the kind of like the solutions here are just a mix match from different manufacturers of things that I think I like. So you can see I have a high and low switch. So low, it just goes in the first gain stage and then basically just moves on. And V3, so like your third tube here is just gonna be stock PLEXI, your cathode follower, and then tone stack, and then phase inverter, and just a stock power amp. That is kind of like how Bogner have made this. The SLO is based on 6L6s, so it has a different power amp. But I mean, I just want to experiment with this, so we'll see how this this goes. If you switch it to high, then you're what you're doing is you're going into the next half, the next gain stage, which is kind of like the JCM800 gain stage, and then on. I do want to put a volume somewhere here so I can restrict the signal, and then into the extra gain stage that it has the cold clipper. The cold clipper is just a very high value of the resistor that sort of bias this tube. So on the SLO it's very high, like 33K. The Marshall is like 10K, so I'm going to try different values here. Also 4K. So basically what you're doing is you're biasing the tube very cold, so you get well, like I said, I can't explain it, but you get a lot of asymmetric clipping, and it basically it's how Mike basically solved the dilemma of having, like, introducing multiple gain stages, because you're gonna get so much gain, it's not controllable. So this is a way for him, and also the attenuation on the way. That is a way to make this work. So I'm not going to speak any more of this because I don't have the knowledge, to be honest. We'll hope it works. So let's take a look inside of the JCM800. This is a mid-80s, so it has the PCB and all the pots mounted on the board. So what I'm going to do, just going to rip all of that out. Also, this is the the transformer for the effects loop and reverb, so that's gonna go. All the hardware and all the transformers and tubes are gonna stay. So this will be just like a donor amp. So I have first tube, second, and third. So what I'm gonna do here. Is I have two extra tubes for the reverb and effects loop. So one tube is going to be, I'm going to be using 4 12AX7 in total. So this will be my first my V1, and then this is going to be the one half is going to be the cold clipper. The second half, on my schematics, I don't have anything hooked up to that yet. I could experiment with adding yet another gain stage, but chances are it's going to get chaotic, so never mind that. And this is it's going to stay pretty much stock. This is the cathode follower. Well, one half is a gain stage, the other half is the cathode follower, and then on to the tone stack and a master volume. And then I'm gonna skip one of these tubes and use the phase inverter like it is, and then the power tubes. So yeah, what I have ordered parts for this. I'm gonna make this a point-to-point, like a turret board with really cool components. So let's look at that, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, so this is the turret board I'm going to be using to hand wire this. I've chosen some so-so capacitors, which are really good replica of the mustard, the Mullard mustard caps that were in the early Marshall PLEXIs. See, I have a bunch, so I can experiment with different values. So yeah, that's fairly standard. This is what like all the high-end amp builders today are using. This is exactly what's in my Bogner and I guess in the Friedmans and stuff. So I made a quick layout how I want it. It's just like a quick mock-out, but yeah. So I'm gonna start by, I don't know if I'm gonna start from the preamp. This is the preamp side, or like the diodes and the power amp section. We'll see, because the power amp, this half approximately is gonna be fairly stock. I'm gonna try experimenting with different values there, so the big changes are gonna come in this portion of the board, which is basically your yeah, what I've designed here. It's your first couple of gain stages here. So this is where most of it's gonna happen. So we'll see, but basically you have an idea what I'm trying to do here, and I don't know how this is gonna turn out. It will be a learning experience, and yeah, I'm sure it will be fun and it will come out good somehow. We'll just have to see. Oh yeah, one more thing. The cabinet, this is gonna turn into a head. I don't like combos. I just bought it because I wanted to use it as a donor. So I'm thinking about the box here. I'm gonna try to turn into a sort of a 112 cab. So you see, it's a bit wider. So I'm thinking about maybe cutting it and also take off that portion of it and turn it into a 112. It's actually a pretty cool speaker in here. Let me just flip this real quick. So like I was saying, it's a fairly cool speaker in there. G12K 85 watt selection. It sort of reminds you of the G12 75 speaker that I have in my my old Marshall cab that I shown in the beginning. I also have that in this cabinet here, and I do love that speaker. It's a good sort of in between. It's not as crazy as the vintage 30, and well, I wouldn't say it's a combo of the V30 or the greenbacks, but it sort of sits somewhere in between. It's a cool speaker for itself. So I think I'm gonna make a 112 cab out of that and just build a box for this one, or I mean, this will be my own build, so I can do whatever I want. Like, I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so this is a work in progress, and let's get started. Okay, the board is almost done. What I have left to do is get this big guy in there. I did forget to 10K resistors to order them, so I have to get them before I wire this in. Okay, it's time to wire up all the pots and all the wired connections. So I've just started doing that here. Also doing some jumpers across here from certain points. Also doing some work underneath there. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. On this side, this is where the pots are gonna go. On the other side here, you can see here on the diagram. These wires I already have in my amp, so I'm not gonna attach them yet. So I'll be doing them reversed basically. So when I have the board inside the amp, I'll wire that up because I'm not really sure yet. I haven't populated the preamp yet because I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I think as a first test, I'm just gonna wire this up real simple. Maybe doing like a cascade thing. I'm not even going to wire up my normal volume or anything because I don't use that. So we'll see how I do this, or I just keep it stock, like your bright volume stock on a PLEXI. Probably do that and test the amp first, and then experiment with a cascading thing, and then experiment with a basically whole new preamp. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I have mounted the boards. I had to drill 3 new holes. Can't really drill a hole here because I have the output transformer there, but it's really sturdy, so it's gonna sit nice there. Plenty of room, and yeah, let's continue with the pots. Okay, so right now I'm just cleaning up some stuff. Remember, I have 5 preamp tubes here in this chassis. I'm only going to be using maybe 3 or 4, so I'm just cleaning up. I had a lot of wires hanging loose. You can see here on V2, this is what it looks like on every single tube. So starting with that, just cleaning up. I have wired in the first half of V1 there, and also I'm starting on the phase inverter right here. So yeah, let's continue doing that, and then I'll get to wiring the pots. I am still missing one because I got the wrong part. So anyways, I can always start doing that. Okay, that's the phase converter wired in right there. This is, I guess, a spare tube. I'm just going to pull it from the socket right now. I'm not going to use it. This one I might use after I've tried it as a stock, sort of like PLEXI JCM type. So first of all, I just want to test everything and see how it works. So I'm just going to use 1/2, doing like a normal channel input, so I'm not bothering with sorry, I'm using a bright input. I'm not bothering with the normal input at all right now. The second tube is just going to be stock, and this is for later. And the preamp section isn't really done, but this is all that's necessary for one channel, for the bright channel right now. So that's all good. And the phase inverter and power section. So yeah, it's starting to look like something now. Okay, I'm doing the last wire here on V2. Just okay, so yeah, that's pretty much done. All the preamp tubes and the phase inverter. The power tubes I haven't touched yet. Do that later. Let's get to the tone stack. Okay, so as you can see, I'm missing a presence pot and the middle pot there. So I wired up basically your gain. This will be for master volume later on. It's your treble, mid, bass, and presence here. So I have some loose wires hanging there. Other than that, I mean, it's kind of getting there. So I need to get the parts and maybe take care of this. All right. Okay, so this is going to be the bias adjuster. It's a 50K pot. I'm going to put it here because it was just easy and I won't accidentally touch it. So it'll be a good place. This right here is the bias point. You put your meter. This is half power, and it's basically like a triode thing, and a triode switch. This is for the high tension fuse. I'm going to keep the original power safety thing here. I know a lot of them just replaced them, but what the hell. I might do that in the future, but as of right now, I'm using that. So the amp is now ready to be played. I have wired up the bias ports there and the bias pot. The middle and presence pot, I'm just doing like a makeshift thing there. It's the right value, but it's not the right pot. I'm waiting for that part. Yeah, other than that, the preamp is just stock 67 PLEXI, so nothing really exciting yet there, but I have some plans to do a 2-channel amp to keep this as the low, and for the high I'm doing this. You can have a look at my own schematic here. So it's a basically cascading thing. The cool thing about it is I'm gonna have 2 gain pots basically. So what I could do is just skip the first half, but I thought, why not use that as a possible boost, you know? So I'm keeping that gain stage and then running into a 2 new gain stages. The 2 added gain stages are kind of like the Dirty Shirley or the twin sister, like a Friedman connection. So I don't know, we'll see how that sounds, but basically that's maybe the plan. If this amp just sounds amazing as it is, remember this is fairly dark voiced, so it's not gonna have a lot of gain at all, so I'm not expecting a whole lot of gain. And yeah, but anyway, if this amp is just amazing as it is, I might just keep it like this and just build another one. I do have another amp, another project, a chassis with some transformer just like this coming up. So yeah, you can see the basically the pentode triode switch, so like half power wired up there. And I do have, if I want, it's not hooked up yet, but it's a line out like a DI out. It was already on the amp, so if I ever need it, I can just hook that up. Cool. So yeah, let's fire it up and listen to it. I'm not gonna bore you with all the first power up and all the measurements and stuff like that. I'm just gonna skip that and go right through a playing test. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I have gain and master volume, treble, mid and bass, and a presence. So let's just see if everything works. So treble, yes, middle, works, bass works, presence works. Okay, and let's max the gain. I said, it doesn't have a lot of gain stock, but it sounds really cool. It's very dark. I guess like late 60s spec, and it sounds the part. Before I'm recording this, I set the bias and checked every like I went through like a couple of spots and measured the voltages and made sure everything was working and everything read as it should, and yeah, I guess it's working. That's like the final receipt, and I'm really happy with this. Right now you're hearing just a just mic in the room, really bad. It's not a good quality. So in the next few videos I'll post something better. But listen to this comparison. Let me just go back before I started this build, when I played it stock, and listen to this. I mean, you can't really compare the gain level, but it's a huge difference in tone. I really like this tone. I could use a little bit more gain, so I'll probably do that cascading thing that I was planning. But I mean, the tone of this thing is just it's warm, and it's like a PLEXI. So that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, I'm really happy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Please like and subscribe if you like this. All right, thanks.